Hello everyone. So in the last video, we solved question monthly transaction 1, which was question number 20 of our SQL 50 series. So in this video, we are going to tackle immediate food delivery 2. So let's dive in. Okay, so in this question, we are given a delivery table, so which has 4 columns: delivery ID, customer ID, order date, customer preference, delivery date, where the delivery ID is the column of the unique values of this table. The table holds the information about food delivery to customer that make orders at some date and specify a preferred delivery date on the same order date or after it. So it is saying that the customer preference delivery date can be equal to order date. If the customer preferred delivery date is same as the order date, then the order is called immediate order. Otherwise, it is called a scheduled order. So if these two columns has same value, then it is called immediate order. Otherwise, it is a scheduled order. The first order of customer is the order with the earliest order date that the customer made. It is guaranteed that the customer has precisely on first order. So first order of the customer is the order with the earliest date that the customer made. Okay. And also it is guaranteed that the customer has precisely one first order. Write a solution to find the percentage of immediate orders in the first order of customers. So the two things are important here: immediate order and in the first order, which means if the order date is equal to the customer preference delivery date, then it is called immediate, but it has to be the first order also. So immediate order in the first order of all customers, and we have to return the result by rounding to two decimal places. So let's look at an example. So we have four customers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if we see the customer with customer ID 1, delivery ID 1, the order date and the customer preference delivery date is not equal, but the second customer has this immediate order because the first order of the customer with customer ID 2 was this 2019 8 and 2. This was the first order, and this is also an immediate order, so we don't have to look for the another orders. So customer 2 made immediate order. Now customer 3 has its first order on 21st, okay, which is not an immediate order. So customer 3 didn't made any immediate order. Now customer 4 made an order on 0809, which is the first order, and it is also an immediate order. So there are two orders with the delivery ID 2 and delivery ID 7. These are the immediate orders. So out of 4 customers, 2 customer made immediate orders. So immediate percentage is 50%. So we'll see two solutions for this problem. First, we'll start with the like a long solution, and then we'll simplify that solution further. So let me write the query to understand it better. Okay, so the approach is, first we'll find all the earliest date. So the main thing in the table is we have to compare the first date. For example, customer with customer ID 1 made two orders. Okay, the first order was on 801 and the second was on 0811. What we want for the solution is the first order date. Okay, so this is the date we want for this customer ID, and for the second we have two orders. The first order was on 082 and the second on 0811. We want only this order date, and for the third we want this order date 2019 08 and 21. We don't want this. So for every customer we want their first order ID. So what we'll do is we'll create a temporary table that will store all these first order date. Okay, so with, say, earliest date as select customer ID comma something as first date from delivery. And how can we select this first date? To select the first date for each customer, we have to group it by customer ID, right? So I'll group by customer ID. Also, we want that the order date should be from, like, for each group, when we group the two values, for example, this is one of the group, okay, for the customer with customer ID 3. So we have to order the order date in such a way that the earliest order date comes first, then the order dates. So here you see the order date, that is 21, is after the 24. So we have to order the order date in ascending order, order by order date in ascending order. Okay, so order by order date ascending order, which is default, so we can remove this. Okay, so this is the query. So let me show you the result of this query first. So what should we select here first? So in the group, we want to select minimum of order date. Okay. Okay. So in the output, you can see for the customer with customer ID 1, the minimum order date, that the earliest, or we can say the first order date is 2019-081. For the order 1, customer ID 1, we have this and this, and the minimum is 0801. And for the customer with customer ID 2, the minimum is 0802. For 3, it is 0821, and for the 4, it is 0809. Okay, so these are the correct dates. These are the first date. These are, we cannot say these are the immediate order date. Okay, so these are just the first order date. So this is the temporary table. Now we have earliest date. Now how can we find the number of immediate orders divided by these total orders? So we can do is select, okay, something from delivery, and okay, before that, do we need join here? Okay, so you see we have the first order date for each customer. So now if we join delivery table with the earliest date, then we can know if the order made by that customer is the immediate order or not. For example, we have this table and we have this table here. So if we join this with this, so for example, customer with customer ID 1, we match it with 1, okay, but the other condition would be that this is the order date, which is same as first date. Okay, what we want is a order to be immediate, its first order date should be equal to customer preference delivery date, right? So we'll do join these two tables in such a way that customer ID is equal to customer ID in this table, and customer preference delivery date in this table is equal to first date. So first date is nothing but the first order date for that customer ID. Okay, so we'll select something from earliest date, join delivery, where earliest date we have first date, which is nothing but order date. It should be equal to delivery dot customer preference delivery date, and the other condition is earliest date, that is earliest date dot customer ID equals to delivery dot customer ID, right? So what will this give us is, let me select everything to show you the result. So this is the resulting table. So you see it gives us two results. When we join this table with our earliest date table, it gave us two entries, because there are four entries in the earliest date, but those in those four dates we have only two immediate orders, and those two immediate orders matched our this condition. Which condition? This one. So if I remove this thing, we will get more entries. Let me tell you why. So when we checked that customer ID and customer ID in both the tables are equal. So you see customer ID here is customer ID here. So if you see in both the tables, this is the first table, this one, and this is our earliest date table. So if we join these two tables on this condition that customer ID in both the tables should be same. So you see the customer ID in both the tables are same. But what we want is that earliest date contain the first order date, and that first order date should be equal to customer preference delivery date. Okay, so this is our earliest date table and this is our delivery table. So here you can see the first date, that is first order date for that customer. If it is equal to customer preference delivery date, then we can say that the customer made the immediate order. So let's see how many of these are immediate order. So this one is an immediate order for the customer ID 2, and then for customer 4, this order is also an immediate order. So we get only 2 entries for this condition. This condition will determine if the order is an immediate order. So if we see the result, we got 2 entries, one for the customer ID 2 and one for the customer ID 4. So now to find the percentage of immediate orders in the first order of all customers, we have to count these entries, divide by all unique customers. Okay, so we have selected these everything, but what we have to do is count star, that is count all the entries, divide by select count of distinct what customer ID, and since both the table has customer ID, let's select it from, no, we have to select it from delivery, because, or we don't have to write it because this is a separate select query from delivery, because delivery has all the customers whereas earliest date also has all the customers, so we can take either one of them. But if we take earliest date, we don't have to write distinct because it has distinct customer, because for each customer we are taking the first order date. So if we take the earliest date as a table, you don't have to write distinct. So when we divide these two, we'll get the ratio, and now we can get the percentage. We round this data to 2 decimal places, and this is our result. And I think we have to return the table with column immediate percentage. So as immediate percentage. Okay, so our solution got accepted. Now let's try to submit this. Okay, so our solution got accepted. So let me tell you what this query is doing again. So first we created a table, that is temporary table. This table exists for this particular transaction. When this query execution completed, this table vanish away. So in this table, we store the first order date for the customer, for each customers. Now for each entry in the earliest date, we join it with the delivery table. Now the condition for joining the delivery table, since the earliest date has the first order date, if on join the first order date is equal to the customer preference delivery date, then we get the immediate orders. So this select query, the join condition here, will give us the immediate orders, and count star will give the total immediate orders. Now we divide it with the total number of customers which we select from the earliest date. Since earliest date has unique customer IDs, we don't have to write here distinct. But if we select it from delivery table, and since delivery table has multiple customer IDs, so we have to use distinct here. But since we are using earliest date, we don't have to. And we round it off by 2 decimal places, and that's our answer. Now we'll see the second solution that is easier to understand than this one. So in the first earliest date table, we get only the first order date of the customers, each customers. Now how can we improve that temporary table? So first of all, we write here immediate orders. Okay, so with immediate orders as we'll select customer ID. Okay, minimum of order date, and let give it as order date. We'll select minimum of customer preference delivery date as customer preference delivery date. From delivery, we group it by same thing, customer ID. We order by order date. But the next condition, what will make this, since the table name is immediate order, it's obvious that we are selecting only immediate orders in this table. So to select immediate orders, we select the customer ID, that customer ID, let's say 1, and minimum order date. So minimum order date is obviously the first order date as OD, and minimum of customer preference delivery date. This date can be equal to order date or it can be after the order date. If it is equal to order date, this is immediate. Okay. So this is just selection. But the thing is, here we have to write a condition that will remove all the entries that are not immediate. Okay. So the condition is having minimum of that this one, minimum of order date and minimum of customer preference delivery date. If these are equal, okay, if these are equal, then this is an immediate order, right? But to check the equality, we'll use the difference of these two dates, that is date diff, and if the difference is 0, these are immediate orders. Okay, so we got the immediate orders. So let me show you the result of this query before storing it in the temporary table. Okay, so you see we got the two entries, the customer with customer ID 2 and 4. So these are the two peoples that made immediate orders. Now all we have to do is like calculate the percentage. So we'll store it back in the temporary table with immediate orders as this. Now we don't have to like do this, we'll do here. Select, instead of count star, we'll use select count star from immediate orders. So these are total immediate orders. Divide by select count star or distinct count star or distinct customer ID from delivery table. So total immediate orders divided by total customers multiply by 100, and we round it off by two decimal places as immediate percentage from what, from nothing. We don't use from here, we don't have where conditions. Okay, so you see our solution got accepted. Now let's try to submit this and we'll understand this query once again. Okay, so our solution got accepted, and what we did is nothing but in the previous solution what we were calculating was the first order date, only earliest date for each customer. We were calculating the first order date. But in this question or in this solution, what we were doing is calculating immediate orders. So what is an immediate order? When the first order date, that is minimum order date, is equal to the first customer preference delivery date. So if these two become equal, that is if these two become equal, the difference between the date is equal, then this is an immediate order. Okay. One more thing that we can do here is we can remove this order by. Can you tell me why we have removed this order by date? because we are selecting minimum of customer preference delivery date and minimum of order date. There is no need to order the resulting set. Okay, so if we run it again, we'll see that the solution is still getting passed. And in the next select query, what we are doing is selecting all the entries, that is count of all the entries from the immediate orders, and selecting distinct customers from the delivery table. We calculate the percent, round it off by 2 decimal places, and display it as immediate percentage. Okay, so that's it.